Welcome to Room for Dessert. I'm Paige Counts, Public Information Officer for Caldwell County. And I'm really excited today because joining me is my sister Allison. Say hi to the people, Allison.
Oh, hello. I waved at them.
Okay, well, that's a start. And I begged her to come because she's in town for a family reunion. So I figured, hey, while she's here, let's put her to work. And we're going to make one of her favorite desserts.
That is true.
Allison, tell us what we're making.
We are making Bill Jenkins' raspberry cobbler, and it is so good.
This cobbler is really good, and Bill would tell a story. Bill passed away several years ago, but he would tell a story about making this cobbler for a church function, and a man stood up, a big burly man stood up and said, "I will marry the woman who made that cobbler." Bill stood up and said, "Thank you, but I'm already married."
Well, to be honest, I can understand why this man would want to marry Bill. I mean, you know, if he hadn't been married, I would have considered it myself.
And he would have been old enough to be your dad.
Well, that's true.
So, well.
But it is really good cobbler.
It is really good cobbler. So, one of the things I do want to preface this with is this is a cobbler for tart fruit, tart berries. It works really good with raspberries and blackberries. Others it may be a little bit too sweet for, unless you have a serious sweet tooth, which we do. So we would be okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's just Mom who says, "Oh, that's too sweet." Can anything be too sweet?
We're going to see. You start by, and I'll let you do this, line your pan with raspberries.
All right.
And I have some fresh raspberries and some frozen raspberries. Raspberries are a little bit costly, so that's why I went with fresh and frozen.
Oh, am I supposed to be sure that they can see this?
Well, Keegan will help you out there.
Oh, okay. Help me out, Keegan. And, oops.
It's okay.
I'm making a mess.
It's okay.
So, Bill had his own raspberries. Do you remember that?
Oh,
he raised his own raspberries.
He raised his own raspberries, so that made it a little bit easier. So if you raise your own raspberries, this is a great recipe. Sugar, just plain sugar, and we're going to mix in with that a tablespoon of cornstarch. And one of the things I'm doing, because you know I have it in my hand, I'm just using the handle of this to go ahead and mix that up. I have washed my hands, so it's okay. And this we're going to set aside because this is actually going to go on top of the cobbler. Now for the fun part.
Don't drop it off the edge of the counter.
You've been cooking with me before.
Yes, I have.
So, Allison, we're going to do this just with a bowl and a fork. You can use a mixer, but you don't really have to. And because I'm not super familiar with this recipe, I'm going to be reading. And now's as good a time as any. Last time when I did a show, I had a recipe printed out that I'd found online. And today I am back to the cookbook.
This is a good cookbook.
This was a good cookbook. This one came from the church I grew up with, Berea Advent Christian in Collinsville. And that's where Bill's recipe is.
Well, and Bill attended church there, and we had church dinners, and it was always a good church dinner when Bill came with a raspberry cobbler.
That is true.
Yeah.
So, cookbooks, I know you can Google anything and get a recipe just like that, but sometimes you just need that good old faithful cookbook. And I want to remind you that Caldwell County Library has cookbooks. And you can go ahead and pick that up. The Bookopoly is the summer reading program for the library, and there's challenge squares. It's like Monopoly, you fill in the squares. 2 of the challenge squares have to do with baking. One is to check out a cookbook from the library. This one didn't come from the library, this one came from my cabinet, but they have lots of great ones. And make something. The other one is to check out a cake pan from the library.
Who knew you could check out a cake pan?
And these are awesome cake pans. So Visit the library. Visit any of the 3 branches this summer. Lots of things to do, but you can get ideas for the kitchen.
That's right. Bookopoly. Play.
Play today. Okay, Allison.
All right. What am I doing?
I'm going to tell you what you're doing.
Oh, well.
Okay, this is not much different than our childhood.
Nope.
You're going to mix 3/4 cup of sugar, which I have for you right here. Already
looky there.
3 tablespoons of butter, which I have chopped up for you
Oh.
on the little mat. And here's you a spatula.
Look at this.
And I went ahead. The butter
It's
is soft. To
Very
make
soft.
it a little more blendable. I also chopped it up. Let's see if I can help you.
Yeah, help me out here.
So it's may blend a little easier, but it's okay if this is kind of chunky. You're also going to do 1 teaspoon of baking powder.
All right.
A 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Aren't you glad I spent some time getting all this stuff out
I am
for you?
so glad.
Yeah, our viewers are too, or they would see me digging through my cabinets.
Well, they'd probably see more of our backsides as you
That is
dig through
true.
cabinets.
As we dig through cabinets. 1/2 cup of milk.
All right. Got the milk.
And a cup of flour.
All right.
Ooh. And you're probably going to want the fork to mix
Yes.
that up with.
Yes.
You'll want that in a moment.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am.
And while she's doing that, I'm going to turn on some water to boil, because once we put our topping on, we're going to pour water over it. And here's full confession. I did a practice run on this and I forgot to pour the water over the top. It turned out to be a terrible mess. So it's a very important step. It's not one you want to forget.
You were having a little trouble baking last night, weren't you?
Well, yes, I've had some trouble baking recently.
Forgetting a few steps.
Forgetting steps, maybe putting the ingredients in the wrong order. You know, with baking, as some wise person yelled from the living room the other day, baking is chemistry, girls.
Well, neither one of us did real good with chemistry, did we?
No, we didn't. We weren't super great with the old chemistry, so
Yeah.
mix that just a little bit
Okay.
more.
That's what I figured.
And then you're going to just dump it over our raspberries.
All right.
Now at this point you're probably thinking, well, that doesn't seem very sweet, because you've only got 3/4 cup of sugar in there. But remember, we put a cup of sugar in this, so we're going to make up for it.
I think I'm going to hand you this and use this
Okay.
spatula.
I thought you might do that. And just do your best to get that spread evenly over the raspberries.
Let's see why she left this to me.
I like to leave you the challenging parts. It helps you grow.
It helps you grow as a person.
Really does.
Yeah.
I bet you can't guess which one of us is older and which one's younger. Yeah, I'm the oldest. I'm the bossy one.
I was about to say, you better fess up to that.
Okay, now Allison, you're going to spread that all over the top.
Okay.
And it's going to look like a ton. It's going to more than cover.
Yeah, you know that Mom has made this recipe before, and she won't put as much sugar on
Well,
it.
I started to cut back on the sugar, but no, I thought, stick to the recipe.
That's
If
right.
people want to cut down on the sugar after they made it one time,
Of course.
they can do that. But I was like, it's the way Bill made it, it's the way we're going to make it.
That's right.
And Bill really was a great friend to our family. He was very involved in his community, and
well, this is a lot of sugar.
I told you it's a lot of sugar.
Holy cow! No wonder I like this so good.
Yeah, you don't really realize it when you're eating it.
Yeah. Oop. Yeah. Bill was great. He was the postmaster in Collettsville, and he looked like Santa Claus.
Yeah, he was.
Well, a skinnier version, but yeah.
All right, now we're going to pour, this is, well, it had been boiling water over that.
Okay.
And it's going to look really odd, but trust us on this.
Okay. No, I'm not going to move that.
Okay. And I'm going to just kind of,
Yeah. Oh, be careful.
I'm kind of going to get all that sugar moistened. And through the magic of television here, you're going to bake that for 45 minutes at 375. But planning ahead, I went ahead and baked one, so, you know, we could try it right away. I'm going to set this one down.
All right.
Clearly, I'm not very good at this, so I could have done this in a better order. I'm going to have to turn my oven back on because I turned it off.
Ooh, it smells good.
And because of the sweetness of this one, you may not want to serve it with ice cream, but ice cream is always an option. You know what? We have to try it.
Well, yeah, of course. Let's try it out.
No pressure in making it look good on the plate.
I
I
know.
wouldn't worry so much about that, but since people are watching,
Is that good?
that's good.
Okay. Yeah. It doesn't make for beautiful presentation, but it doesn't matter when it tastes so good.
And here, I'll let you. I guess we should give Keegan the first bite because he's the one that's really been working.
That is true. That is true.
All right, Keegan, you're gonna have to come around to the other side of the camera.
All right, Keegan. You be the judge.
You be the judge. All right, Keegan.
Oh my gosh, it's hot, folks. Oh my goodness.
It's hot.
Bellies. Oh wow, it's hot. Oh, it's sweet. It was fantastic.
Okay, and coming from Keegan, that's a huge compliment because he is a selective eater.
That's putting it mildly, I'd ever say. So, thumbs up from Keekster.
All right. You're on your own, sis.
I know, mine won't. Oh. Oh wow, it is really hot.
Mm.
And it's one of those things you can serve hot or room temperature. Won't
That's
be quite
right.
so runny if it's room temperature.
Exactly. Either way, it's really good.
So we've made our cobbler, and that might not be the dessert for everybody.
I don't see why not.
Well,
Well, that's true.
it might not be, but this is something that, well, kids love it, but adults love it too. It's a dip, and it's called cake batter or funfetti dip, and it's really easy to make. Great for parties. It's like eating cake batter for those people who don't want to eat raw eggs. as I confessed last time, I'm not the person that turns down cookie dough. I will lick the beaters. I'll even turn them off and let people lick them. Not put them back in. No, that would be gross. But when we're finished.
When you're finished,
When
exactly,
you're finished.
exactly.
But if you need a fun dip, you're going to a cookout or something and you're not sure what to take, this works really well. And actually, because, like I said before, we have a family reunion coming up, and because we do things big in our family, it's a whole weekend. So I'm doubling this recipe. It's really, half of it is what normal people eat, but if you need a lot, this is how to make a lot.
Look, people might be going to a big party.
Big party.
You need a lot.
You need a lot. So you want to feed like your entire office building, this would do it. Assuming they like sweets and cookies. So we start with just cream cheese at room temperature, soften. And when you let it get soft, you know you got to scrape this paper. So I'm gonna go ahead, start beating that just to get it smooth.
All right, now you're gonna slowly add the Funfetti mix. This is always the part I have trouble with.
Yeah, the slowly part.
The slowly part. I generally dump it. So it's like I always say, it doesn't matter what it looks like, it just matters what it tastes like.
Well, I will confess that this is one of those things that it was a special request for our family reunion. This is one of the things they asked for. So.
Well, that they is two cousins in particular.
Two cousins in particular.
Who will eat the majority of this, I'm sure.
And again, you're already thinking, wow, a whole thing of cake mix, that's a lot of sugar. But wait, we're not done.
Of course not. Alright, so you're going to add the milk, and it calls for, well, you've doubled it. It originally called for 6 tablespoons.
But when you double it, because I didn't do the math in my head. I used one of those quick converters, and what I found is it's about 3/4 cup of milk.
For 12 tablespoons.
This was about 3/4
cup. All right, and you're just pouring in half of that right now.
All right, I think that's about half.
All right, and then, we're mixing it until combined.
Okay, and that looks like it's pretty well combined. We're gonna add some powdered sugar, and we're gonna get that combined, and I'm gonna add a little more milk. And I'm just gonna keep going back and forth between powdered sugar and milk. And while that's mixing, I am going to open the refrigerator, and hopefully quickly, I'm going to give you my secret ingredient.
Oh, hey, nothing's changed from when we were kids. She said, oh, you read the recipe. She's not going by the recipe. Okay, well, she's going to give you her secret ingredient.
I put a little vanilla in it, because who's ever had a cake that you didn't put vanilla in? Well, I mean, maybe a chocolate cake. But I just add a little bit of vanilla just to give it that little bit extra flavor. So I'm going to add a little more powdered sugar. I'm just going to add the rest of the powdered sugar in here. And then you got to put in some more milk. And then again, I'm just going to put in a little bit of vanilla. Normally I would measure, but my measuring spoons are dirty, so...
We used all of them up on the last recipe?
Last recipe!
Okay.
So, I got a little bit more milk. I'm going to put that in there. And this piece is optional, but it makes it more fun. I have sprinkles. And here's where I'm really going to make a mess. Because it says to put a third a cup of sprinkles. Again, if you don't have sprinkles, Funfetti comes with sprinkles already in the mix. But more sprinkles just means more fun.
And after all, it is called Funfetti.
And this is going to be slightly runny, so you do want to put it in the refrigerator and let it kind of set up. I mean, you could obviously eat it now, but you might want to wait and let it get a little bit thicker. But it is a pretty thick thing. Allison, have you had enough sugar today?
Well, yes, but that's not going to stop me. You gotta taste test everything, right?
And
it's good. Very good.
And it's really good, and I've already opened these with animal crackers. Or you could do graham crackers. I guess if you wanted a sweet and salty, you could maybe even do some kind of potato chip. Just throwing it out there.
You could.
Just throwing it out there.
Not sure that I would, but okay.
Keegan probably wants me to turn this toward the camera, but I'm not that coordinated. And you can see how thick this is. But it is fun. It's a fun way. It's something kids can make. Of course, let your kids in the kitchen. Let them make whatever. It's a good way to learn.
Very true. Maybe they'll learn more about math than we did.
Yeah, but now it's so easy because you can just, in your search bar on your telephone, on your phone with,
That's true. That's true.
Type in whatever you want to know and
very, very true.
it pops up, so.
Would you like some help with that?
I would love
it
some
help?
help.
Would it help to have another hand?
I would love some help.
Okay, I can't see, but I'm assuming here. Let's just...
Teamwork. It makes the dream work, folks. And once we get this bowl cleaned out, we're going to put some more sprinkles on top. Just
we
to
are.
make it look festive.
Okay.
Well,
Let's sugar everybody up at the family reunion. That's all they need. Okay, I can't tell if it's cleaned out or not. There you go.
I'm going to do one more.
Well, you got to leave some for Keegan to taste test.
Oh, yes. I'm
Yes.
probably going to give him the spatula. He's probably going to pass out to sugar.
Oh, my.
I'm just gonna eat the head off a lion. Oh, wait, I'm in front. 2 thumbs up. Can't go wrong with animal crackers and sugar. My goodness.
Animal crackers and sugar.
All right, let's... Oops.
Oh, I haven't.
Good
Ooh.
stuff. All right.
I think that'll work. So there you have it. A couple fun recipes. Enjoy. Take time and enjoy dessert. Maybe not every day, but take the time because there's always room for dessert. Thanks for watching. And remember, folks,
Leave room for dessert.